Beelzebub wasn't a bad imp, not really. He was just a little misunderstood. You see, Beelzebub had a heart full of joy and a spirit that thrived on fun. He wasn't out to cause harm, he simply wanted to bring a bit of excitement into the world. He just loved to play tricks. His tricks were never mean-spirited, they were always meant to bring a smile to someone's face. Whether it was making a flower bloom in an unexpected place or causing a gentle breeze to lift a hat, his antics were always in good fun. He had horns that curled like party streamers and a tail that wagged with mischief. His appearance was as playful as his personality, with bright eyes that sparkled with every new idea for a prank. One sunny morning, Beelzebub woke up with a mischievous glint in his eye. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and he felt that today was the perfect day for a grand adventure. Today, he declared, I shall spread laughter throughout the land. His voice was filled with excitement and determination. He knew exactly where he wanted to go and what he wanted to do. With a spring in his step, he set off towards the human world. The journey was always thrilling for him, filled with the promise of new faces and new places to explore. He loved visiting Earth, especially places full of laughter and fun. The human world was a treasure trove of joy and amusement, and Beelzebub couldn't get enough of it. Today, he chose a bustling park filled with children playing, families picnicking, and squirrels scampering up trees. The air was filled with laughter and the scent of fresh grass, making it the perfect setting for his playful antics. Oh, what a perfect place for some fun, chuckled Beelzebub. He could already imagine the giggles and smiles his tricks would bring. With a twinkle in his eye, he began to plan his first prank of the day, eager to spread joy and laughter to everyone around. First, Beelzebub spotted a group of children having a picnic. They were laughing and playing, enjoying the sunny day without a care in the world. The sight of their joy made Beelzebub's mischievous mind start to churn with ideas. They had a whole plate of freshly baked cookies. The aroma wafted through the air, making Beelzebub's mouth water. Each cookie looked more delicious than the last, with chocolate chips glistening in the sunlight. Beelzebub's tummy rumbled. He loved cookies. The thought of tasting one of those scrumptious treats was almost too much to bear, but he knew he had to be sneaky. He couldn't just walk up and take one, but he also loved a good prank. His eyes twinkled with mischief as he hatched a plan. He would have his cookies and some fun, too. The children wouldn't know what hit them. With a snap of his fingers, he made all the cookies disappear. The children gasped. One moment, the plate was full, and the next, it was empty. They looked around in confusion, trying to figure out what had happened. "Where did the cookies go?" they cried. Their eyes darted around the picnic area, searching for any sign of their missing treats. The confusion on their faces was priceless. Beelzebub watched from behind a tree, hiding his giggles. He could barely contain his laughter as he saw the children's bewildered expressions. This was turning out to be more fun than he had imagined. Then, just as quickly, he snapped his fingers again. He decided to give the children a little surprise. After all, what's a prank without a twist? This time the cookies reappeared, but they were all stuck together like one giant cookie. The children stared in disbelief. They had never seen anything like it before. It was as if magic had turned their cookies into a single, enormous treat. The children looked at each other, confused at first, then burst into laughter. The sight of the giant cookie was too funny to resist. They gathered around, marveling at the strange creation, and soon they were all laughing and joking about the mysterious cookie caper. Next, Beelzebub skipped over to a fountain guarded by stone gargoyles. Gargoyles were supposed to be serious, but Beelzebub had other plans. He whispered a silly joke in each of their ears. Soon the gargoyles were shaking with silent laughter, their stone faces contorted into comical grins. Water spouted from their mouths in fits of giggles, showering everyone nearby. People laughed, surprised by the sudden watery display. "Those gargoyles are hilarious," shouted a boy, wiping his eyes. Feeling quite pleased with himself, Beelzebub decided to liven up the park's atmosphere. The park, usually a serene place where people came to relax and unwind, was about to experience something extraordinary. The sun was setting, casting long shadows and giving the park an almost mystical aura. Beelzebub, with a mischievous glint in his eye, knew exactly what to do. He gathered a handful of dandelions and blew on them with all his might. The dandelions, delicate and fluffy, seemed to shimmer in the fading light. As Beelzebub exhaled, the seeds took flight, carried by an unseen force. It was as if the very air had become enchanted, guiding the seeds on their whimsical journey. The fluffy seeds, infused with a touch of Beelzebub's magic, floated through the air. They sparkled and twinkled, leaving a trail of magic in their wake. The seeds danced on the breeze, weaving in and out of the trees and drifting towards the unsuspecting park-goers. But these weren't ordinary dandelion seeds. Each one carried a tiny bit of Beelzebub's playful spirit. They glowed softly, almost imperceptibly, but enough to catch the eye of anyone who looked closely. The seeds seemed to have a life of their own, moving with purpose and intent. They tickled everyone's noses, causing a chain reaction of sneezes. The first few sneezes were quiet, almost polite, but soon they grew louder and more frequent. People looked around in confusion, wondering what was happening. The tickling sensation was irresistible, and no one could hold back their sneezes. "Achoo!" sneezed a man walking his dog. The dog, startled by the sudden noise, barked and wagged its tail. The man laughed, wiping his nose and looking around to see if anyone else was affected. "Ha ha, achoo!" sneezed a lady reading a book. She tried to continue reading, but the tickling sensation was too much. She sneezed again and again until she finally gave up and closed her book, laughing at the absurdity of it all. Soon the whole park was filled with a symphony of sneezes, everyone laughing at the absurdity of it all. The sneezes echoed through the park, creating a strange but joyful melody. People who had been strangers moments before were now united in their shared experience. Laughter and sneezes mingled in the air, creating a sense of camaraderie and delight. Beelzebub watched from a distance, a satisfied smile on his face. His little prank had brought a moment of unexpected joy to the park, turning an ordinary evening into a magical memory. By now, Beelzebub was having a blast. He spotted a little girl blowing bubbles with her mom. "More bubbles," he thought gleefully. With a wave of his hand, Beelzebub transformed the fountain into a giant bubble bath. Bubbles of all shapes and sizes floated through the air, shimmering with rainbow colours. Children squealed with delight, chasing and popping the magical bubbles. The little girl giggled as a giant bubble landed on her nose, leaving a soapy moustache. The park was now a whirlwind of laughter and joy, but Beelzebub wasn't finished yet. He spotted a park bench where an old man was feeding pigeons. Beelzebub loved pigeons, especially their soft, fluffy feathers. With a mischievous wink, he turned the pigeons' feathers into brightly coloured ones. Suddenly, the air was filled with a flurry of pink, green and blue feathers. People gasped in astonishment as the pigeons, now looking like feathered rainbows, fluttered through the colourful chaos. Beelzebub, exhausted but happy, decided to take a break from his mischief. He plopped down on a bench near a mirror and admired his reflection. "I'm quite good at this whole fun thing, aren't I?" he said with a grin. But as he looked around, he noticed something different. The park, once filled with laughter, now seemed strangely quiet. The children, who were just moments ago chasing bubbles and giggling, now looked confused and a little bit sad. Beelzebub's smile faded. He hadn't meant to make anyone unhappy. He just wanted to make them laugh. He looked at the giant bubble bath, now a slippery mess. He saw the scattered feathers, the pigeons looking confused with their rainbow attire. Even the fountain seemed to be hiccuping, still struggling to return to its normal self. And then Beelzebub realized that sometimes even fun can go a little too far. He had let his mischievousness get the better of him.
Know you've been a good friend.
Beelzebub knew what he had to do. He used his magic to clean up the park, returning everything to its former glory. He even helped the pigeons get their regular feathers back, apologizing for the colorful mishap. He then approached the children, his head hung low. "I'm sorry," he mumbled. I just wanted to make you laugh, but I think I might have gone overboard." To his surprise, the children didn't seem angry. They understood that everyone makes mistakes, even mischievous imps. Beelzebub learned a valuable lesson that day. It's okay to be playful and have fun, but it's important to be mindful of others and to know when enough is enough. From that day on, Beelzebub continued his mischievous ways, but he always made sure his pranks were harmless and brought nothing but smiles and laughter. And so, the tale of Beelzebub reminds us that even the most mischievous imps can learn the importance of kindness and consideration. After all, true joy comes from spreading happiness, not chaos.